Continue. Oh, this was Machina on the plastic pet. Oh, Physicist, you were quick to drop by stream. It was a toss-up between either running another Zelda 2 seed or just playing more of this. I can eventually just imagine we'll get to the point where I'm going to be looking forward to this a lot more than Zelda 2. But Grisaia, Fruit of Grisaia is still sort of just starting up. I'm still getting introduced to all the characters and, like, the new school. Since the part about the candy, I think. Yeah, Machina's candy riddle, see and die. Anyone who ever played Advent of Ascension went to Candyland representing. Yeah, you can see, you just have like enough time to see an airhead or a cherry barrager, and then it kills you. You'll be wanting to play it for hours when you get to all the other routes. So, in other words, once I get past the introduction. What do you mean by the opposite? Well, you know, her shyness is definitely part of it, but I think Machina's trying to not be disliked by you. Trying to not be disliked? Machina's really a more cheerful girl, but she's also so energetic that it gets on people's nerves, so she's holding back. Yeah, I think it's safe to say Candyland was definitely up there for one of the more dangerous dimensions in Advent of Ascension. At least from what I knew in pre-3.2. Candyland was definitely up there, so was Lunaless, especially if you didn't have gear to just slow your falling or just teleport to nearby planets. Dustopia is not one to sleep on either. I personally still feel like Vox Pawns is the hardest dimension in old Advent of Ascension. Especially since you're going in there with pretty shitty armor. Toxilises that just are really good at cutting down your health, and Sentinels that could easily remove the rest of that health. So glad I finally got that face mask, but I still want mending on it. I'd be much more likely to play 3.2 instead of 3.1.2. But even then, Minecraft's been on kind of a hiatus as well. Because now I have this to start looking at. That's her normal state, then the way she behaves in front of me would certainly be a product of deliberate self-restraint. But if she's holding back, doesn't that prove that she's constantly trying to avoid being hated by you? Don't worry, I always notice that. It's like the same greeting almost nearly every stream. I think it could be interpreted as a simple fear as well. Well, half out of fear does sound about right, but I think that'll be alright. What makes you say that? When you're talking with Machina just now, you squatted down to talk to her face to face, right? That's actually pretty effective. Yeah. When I was a kid, there was a time I'd been surrounded by unfamiliar adults and found myself on the brink of tears. When one of the adults stooped down to talk with me face to face, I immediately got emotionally attached. Much like how Lurchem always said, "Hello, how are you?" I have no idea where that guy is. Life could have easily just happened. That life happens to people. Looking back, I feel like shouting, "You sure got attached to an outrageous person," or complaining about what an idiot I was, but... Right, I'm pretty tall myself and all, and Machina really didn't take to me at first. It took me a good month to figure out that trick of bending over when I talked to her. And now she's glued to you or something like that. Well, she's definitely gotten attached to me, but it's not like we're together constantly. Machina's the type that fundamentally likes to play alone. And the girl's got some pretty fierce mood swings too. Don't take this the wrong way, but if I was with her constantly, I'd get worn out pretty fast. Maybe she's playing by herself because she understands that? I can't explain it too well, but she's kind of like a cat. When she wants your attention, she'll meow and cuddle up to you, but the instant she gets bored, she'll be gone like that. Her hair's all fluffy and curly. Her body's flexible and soft. Her temperature's high, it's so warm when you hug her. And she's got that mildly sweet scent. Very cat-like, don't you think? Very Neko-like. A cat, I see. One of the few words I actually know in Japanese. Well, she might seem a little blunt until she gets used to you, but she's really not a bad kid. Try to make friends. I don't plan to force her to be friends if she doesn't want to be, but yeah, I'll try to avoid being hated. If I avoid unnecessary contact, I shouldn't inspire any hatred, or come to hate anyone myself. Did I tell you that you'll have to make a sequence of choices to get onto those routes? And if I don't, do I just get a bad ending straight away? To get those routes. How many choices in a row do I have to pick correctly? I wonder how hard this is gonna be. Unless I just cheat and look up the choices ahead of time. Maintaining an emotional distance among appropriate lines is an essential but extremely difficult aspect of forming efficient interpersonal relationships. Of course, there are always these careless puppy dog types who will leap into your arms wagging their tails right from the start. What are you staring at my face for? I don't know what happens if you pick wrong. Well, I guess we might have to find that out too. Just think about how beautiful you are. Got in the mood. For a kiss? Alright, Amane, close your eyes. We've been here for 3 days now, haven't we? Maybe even still just 2. My guy makes this look easy. Her chest swelling with some ridiculous expectation, Amane closes her eyes and thrusts out her lips as instructed. Moving quickly and silently, I make good my getaway, leaving the girl to her foolishness. Oh, he just ditched her? Hey! Where are you going? Arg, you tease! He left. I see, Makina may have the right idea. Leaving out later or goodbye entirely, and silently running away certainly is less troublesome. Please don't spoil it. If I really want to spoil it, I can spoil it myself. I have that capability. Looking at the sky again, read books in a well-lit area. That was a teaching of my master's. At that time, I was accustomed to reading while shut up in a closet or dark room, so those words felt a bit refreshing. Of course, it's not like I'm worried about obeying the teachings of a woman who's already dead, and I'm still not good with direct sunlight. But here I am, searching for a bright place with a book in hand anyway. Aren't I adorable? No reason to wander around looking for a sunny place in this shitty heat. None of the choices spoil the stories of the routes. Got it. Stepping away from the air-conditioned school building, I unfold the school's admissions guide pamphlet. On the coded threefold brochure, there's a bird's-eye view illustration of the campus, with a mark to the south of the schoolhouse annotated. Planned site of library construction. I mean, there isn't a library yet, I guess. Collection that already only holds around 200 books. You can apply to have a book stocked if you're after one in particular, and apparently a bookmobile. A bookmobile replaces the existing collection every once in a while. Wait, the entire collection of books gets replaced? Like, you mean like everything just gets rewritten? that sounds like a red flag right there. But it doesn't seem like it's being used that heavily. If books are constantly just being edited and rewritten, sounds like a red flag. Okay, got it. In other words, there's no reason to go out of my way to borrow the key to use it. I brought my own books, and there are plenty of well-lit areas besides the library. While casually looking over the pamphlet, I find the words Rose Garden. This is definitely our principal's doing. Okay, let me read this. A rose garden is absolutely essential for a school attended by young maidens. At the entrance ceremony every year, the seniors can pin the roses they grew themselves on the chests of the new students. How beautiful! I might be able to just make those choices myself eventually. Or so I can easily imagine a certain woman who doesn't know how to act or age deluding herself. Pretty flowers might calm your mind, but they won't fill your belly. If you got room to grow them, it would be better used for an edible plant, but telling her that would probably just make things unpleasant. I'll just have to remember to greet Principal Tachibana with a good day, Onisama, the next time I see her. A rose garden, eh? I don't have any interest in inedible flowers, but I guess there will be a shade tree or two as well. Imagining myself reading under a tree surrounded by blooming roses brings a smirk to my face. Guided by these silly thoughts, I decide to head towards the rose garden for the first and only time. They call it a rose garden, but not a single one's in bloom. Based on the map, this is definitely the right spot, and there's even a white arch that seems appropriate. But from what I can see, there aren't any roses in flower. Maybe the garden's still a work in progress, or perhaps they're lying. Or cutting the buds during the summer. Not like I came to see roses in the first place, so whatever. Okay, there's Machina. Is she sleeping? Is she using some cat as a pillow? That was a surprise. I wasn't expecting anyone else to be here. No, more importantly, what the heck is she doing? Is she sleeping? I approached silently and touched Machina's neck in the area of I don't know where the fuck that is. She's got a pulse. Yeah, it would suck if she died already. On close inspection, she's breathing quietly, so I guess the wicked stepmother didn't feed her a poisoned apple. She's sleeping? Wait, this thing is a cat, I think? A large cat is serving as the soundly sleeping Machina's pillow. I'd taken it for a stuffed animal at first glance. It sure looks like a fluffy toy, but when I draw close, the stubby ears buried in its fur twitch like miniature radar antennas. My next question, why sleep out here? Soon resolves itself. I see, it's definitely nice and cool here. Cats are knowledgeable about cool places, or so they used to say. As for Machina, I expect she was wandering around by herself as per usual, then grew exhausted and collapsed into the sudden sleep on the spot. I watched the partially gnawed apple on Machina's chest rise and fall with her breathing. She fell asleep in the middle of eating. Just like a baby. I noticed that Machina's mouth is half open and dripping transparent drool. Not to mention her hair's a scruffy mess. The ribbon on her uniform is crooked and she's wearing different socks on her left and right leg. What's with this girl? As I look down upon her, Machina suddenly snuffles noisily. Yeah, we get to hear cute little girl sounds. What a weirdo. It's been a while since the last time I laughed at a woman's sleeping face. Even as I'm filled with the desire to keep watching, discomfort at the peaceful atmosphere of this place also wells up within me. At that moment, I sense someone watching me and look over to find that Machina's pillow cat has woken up and is staring at me in surprise. Sorry to bother you. Go back to sleep. I leave them, taking care to avoid making noise, and sit down under a tree a little ways away. We didn't even get to see her wake up. Phew. Wandering around as she pleases, then falling asleep in the nearest cool place when she gets tired. I see. She certainly does remind you of a cat. I'm gonna print screen that. We get to hear cute little girl sounds. Level Engine 2020. That's not sarcasm or anything. I'm genuinely envious of Machina. I'm sure that she brings that little pocket of naturally peaceful space with her wherever she goes. I think that's something worth envying, and it's probably very precious to her as well, which might well be why she doesn't want to step outside the sanctuary to school when she can avoid it. Inside the sanctuary, that would crumble in a moment without the protection of others. I wonder if the day will come when I too can sleep in that utterly defenseless way. Turning toward the sound, I noticed the fat white cat from before appearing from the direction of the thicket I just left. Rustling its way through the foliage on stubby legs, it stops suddenly when it spots me sitting under the shade of my tree. Glaring at me with sleepy-looking eyes, it lets out a single disgruntled meow. My bad. After getting suddenly awoken in the middle of a pleasant nap, it's only natural. If I were put out of bed on a Sunday morning by some pushy religious solicitors, I'm sure I'd make a similar face. Although the fat cat doesn't seem to have accepted my apology, he snuffles roughly and lumbers away from this place. Something about cats and bushes. It doesn't sound like she's just waking up. I hear the sound of a dim-witted creature awakening and lazily stretching out its body. When I take a look, Machina is crouched on the ground on all fours, bending her back. She really is a cat in human form. Machina opens her mouth, holds down a yawn, and rubs roughly at the tears spilling out of the corner of her eyes. After a restless look around the area, she draws herself up off the ground. It's not like I'm doing anything I need to be ashamed of, but before I realize it, I've hidden myself from her. After standing stock still for a moment, Machina takes a bite from the apple in her hand and wanders off briskly. And where's she off to now? It doesn't look like she's got any particular destination in mind. Driven by an interest I find difficult to pin down, I decide to quietly follow her. There's no regularity to Machina's actions. Just when I think she's walking straight towards something, she'll come to a sudden stop, look around restlessly, and head off in a different direction. Doesn't seem like she's lost or anything, so I suppose she's just moving wherever her whims take her. Unfortunately, that randomness makes it pretty tough to tail her. It wouldn't be a serious problem if she noticed me, but if I just call out to her now, I have the feeling she'll scamper off again. I skillfully hide my presence and continue shadowing her movements. Okay, why does this school grounds look familiar? I think I might have seen this in at least... I know I've seen this in at least one DDLC mod. Maybe two? I feel like I saw this in Fruits of Doki Doki Literature Club. Fruits of Literature Club. That one. Trying to think if I saw this in any other Doki Doki mod. It appearing in Fruits of the Literature Club definitely makes sense. Just as I'm finally starting to get fed up with following Machina's directionless rambling, which resembles the random staggering of a sleepwalker more than anything else, the rare wandering monster in question comes to a sudden halt. Her resting place is an area on the outskirts of the school courtyard, in front of an artificial cement pond of uncertain purpose. Oh, that CG is actually common in DDLC mods. So I'm guessing it's probably public domain of some sort, right? Machina totters her way up to the pond, thrusts her hand in the pocket of her skirt to retrieve some half-eaten white bread, and starts tearing off chunks to throw into the water. Every time Machina's small hand hurls a bit of bread into the pond, a loud splashing sound resonates from the surface of the water. Apparently someone stocked it with fish, and she's feeding them. I definitely like some of the music here. Is she fattening them up to eat? Ah, clawfish! Clawfish? Machina looks around the area rapidly, grabs a short tree branch lying nearby, and then leans over the depths of the pond and begins poking into the water. Although I was puzzled there for a moment, it seems like she's trying to capture a crawfish she spotted in the pond. Just a little clawfish. Just a little closer. Come here. This looks risky. Given her character, it's obvious she'll be taking a face first dive into the pond very soon if I just sit here. I approach Machina from behind and call out to her. Hey, watch out or you'll fall in that pond. I knew it. I guess I shouldn't have called out to her out of nowhere. Machina's hand slips off the ground in a stereotypical slapstick pratfall. Whoops! Swiftly reaching out to the floundering Machina, I firmly seize the collar of her school uniform and pull her back to safety. Dangled by the nape of her neck like a kitten, Machina lets out a feline cry. You're light. Are you even 40 kilos? There isn't any difference in weight from the backpack I'm always carrying. Given this weight and size, I could lug her a good 25 kilometers in a single day. Oh, sorry. Shocking girls ain't right, you know. I wasn't planning to call out to you, but it's better than letting you fall into the pond, isn't it? Thanks for helping me. You still fell into the pond. I did the natural thing given the circumstances. Look at me shamelessly doing the life-saving hero number, despite being in large part responsible for the problem in the first place. I might have the makings of an American politician. Machina gives a quick bow of thanks, but without another word starts to run away from me yet again. Hey, hold it. Where do you think you're going? Huh? Don't give me why are you running away from me? I'm not really running away or anything. Do you need something? When she asked me point blank, it's not like I have any particular justification for detaining her here. That said, it's kind of unpleasant to be avoided this blatantly. At the very least, if there's a reason she's doing this, I want to know about it. I think I asked this before, but are you scared of me? Not really. If there's some reason why you're avoiding me, how about telling me? If possible, I'll try to address it. Again with the silent treatment. Deciding to pursue the conversation more patiently, I squat down to match my line of sight with hers. Do you remember my name? Yep. First name's kind of embarrassing. Okay, then call me what you want. Big brother. I have to say, being called her big brother is a bit embarrassing on my end, but, well, alright. When I turn around in response to the splashing sounds coming from the pond behind me, there are a number of fish gathered at the surface of the water, flapping their mouths in a demand for more food. It seems they've come to expect a handout when people stand near the pond. Machina, you still have breadcrumbs left? So we gotta feed more fish. This ain't it. Not this one either. As she talks, she pulls things out of her pockets one after the other. The items that emerge are mostly sweets like candy, chocolate, and chewing gum, along with an erratic selection of tools like nail clippers, rubber bands, and glue sticks. Although I've heard that women's purses are connected to the fourth dimension, this girl's pockets need to be connected to a garbage dump. Machina carelessly rains down the rubbish that emerges on the ground around her. One after the other. What is this? I pick up a plastic container shaped like a large film canister. There's a label pasted on the side filled with numbers and symbols of uncertain meaning. Film canister, what does that look like? Are those some pills? Don't, that's Ramune candy for Chiru Chiru, give it back! I'm not going to steal it or anything. Here, take it. When I hold out the case to her, Machina snatches it back instantly. You absolutely can't eat these, okay? I'm not going to sneak bites of other people's food at my age. So you say, but I ain't convinced. The world's a cruel place. I've known a certain oversized woman to say things like that and then go gorge herself in secret until she's drowning in pleasure. Amane, huh? Huh? How'd you know I was talking about Amane? I didn't, just saying the first name that popped in my head. It really was her? Guess she's got a surprisingly gluttonous side. Don't tell her you heard it from me, okay? Here, I'll give you some bread. So let's make that our little secret. Good as our word. Machina shoves some half-eaten bread under my face. There, you can have all of it. Eat it all up and get nice and plump, yeah? No, I wasn't planning to eat it. I take the bread scraps from Machina, tear off some small pieces and throw them into the pond. The fish at the surface struggle like a pack of piranha for the food, messily gulping it all down. You know, you can catch on to a lot of foreshadowing when you're watching the main route a second time. Assuming you actually just know all the backstories. And then play the main route a second time. Yep, they're goldfish. I scooped them up at the Shinto festival last year. From a goldfish snatching game, huh? Yep. If these were originally goldfish from a scooping game, they're almost certainly the tiny kind that's sold as live food for carnivorous fish in pet shops, but these things are huge. They just got bigger and bigger, you know? Fish generally can't keep growing as long as they're alive, so the more you feed them, the bigger they'll get. What exactly have you been giving them, though? Chunks of bread or normal goldfish food, I guess? I feed them all the time during recess and when I get bored. I guess. Let me magic fish food. Ah, I get it. You know, fish don't really know when they're full. They don't feel pain the way we do either, so they'll eat as much as you give them, even if their stomachs are bulging out. Really? The #1 cause of death among aquarium fish is indigestion from being overfed. That's what it said in something I read when I was a kid, at least. You read that in the book? I think it was a magazine called Monthly Junior Science. They mentioned in some article about raising fish in ozonated water. Oh, it was a magazine about fish? It had articles on all sorts of things, not just fish. Animals, space, whatever. My older sister was a seriously dedicated reader. I'd pick up magazines like that when she was finished, although half of it went over my head. I just can't help but imagine Machina's reaction when she just, for some reason, all the fish are dead. As I'm recalling the content of the science magazines I read back then, I suddenly remember something. Hey Machina, you had some pickled squid in that pocket, didn't you? Are you giving it to the fish? Just take it out for now. Also, have anything we could use a string? Got some cotton sewing thread. Why? You'll see. Receiving the squid from Machina, I firmly tie one end of the thread around it, then knot the other end to a tree branch I picked up at random. A fishing rod? Exactly, so now I toss the squid dangling by the thread into the pond. Around the area where I threw the squid, I can see the shape of the crawfish Machina had been poking at earlier. When I jiggle the squid in front of his face, within a matter of seconds, the crawfish extends his pincers and firmly seizes the bait. There, hooked him. See that? Oh, awesome! You caught the clawfish! It's a crawfish, not a clawfish. You've got the word wrong. As I dangle the captured crustacean in front of her eyes, Machina stares at it with an expression of immense curiosity. Oh, this clawfish is bright red. There must be a lot of edible aquatic plants or something in there. Crawfish turn red when they have abundant food. What happens if they don't? They turn blue. Blue? If you take a small newborn crawfish and continually give it food like potatoes, radishes, or sardines that don't contain carotene, it'll turn blue in a month or so. You serious? I read it in the book when I was a kid and ended up trying it out myself. There were some that ended up with a lot of violet spots or white flecks, but I remember getting a few that turned deep blue as well. Cool! I want to try it too! Okay, then try to catch one yourself. Wonder if I can catch one. I've never fished before. Experiencing new things is always worthwhile, so you might as well start by trying to catch one yourself. Yeah, here I go! Don't fall into the pond, alright? Also, try to get the smallest one you can. Okay, I'll do it! Taking the crude pole from me, Machina forcefully hurls the squid into the pond. Hope I can catch a clawfish. I already told you it's crawfish, not clawfish. Don't worry about it, I'm an idiot. Is that the issue here? I mean, I do remember pronouncing snail as smail back when I was in elementary school for a while, but after my sister pointed out to me, I stopped making that mistake. Didn't you have someone to point out that sort of mistake for you? Your mom, for instance? Nah. Since mom hates me. Oh, fuck. I see. There's no mother in the world who hates her child was my mother's line, but by now I'm all too well aware that the world isn't that simple. Oh my fucking god, I'm sorry to hear that. And for those children, that can't be a topic they want to chat about with some stranger. An awkward attempt at... I have a new item in my inventory. Okay, I'm looking at my Steam profile right now, and I just got a Machina Irisu. It's a Fruit of Grisaia trading card that can turn into gems. Viewing community markets starting at 23 cents Canadian. Oh, I got a 23-cent card. This is probably the only single item I got playing games that I can redeem for money. And that's only 23 cents. I clearly don't do this for a living. I can't live off of 23 cents. What the fuck can you buy with 23 cents these days? This isn't the 1920s or the 1930s. I can view my badge progress. 5 cards left to collect. I can buy them on the market. Why would I? None of my friends have any of the other cards, probably because I don't have any friends on Steam. I rarely ever use it anyways. 23-cent card. So just like almost every Magic card that I own that's just like quite literally only as worth as much as the cardboard it's printed on. Yeah, I play Magic the Gathering, collected a lot of cards, and obviously most of them are quite literally only worth the cardboard they're printed on. Just like all kinds of random bulk cards you get out of booster packs. You're a nice guy, Oni-chan. Me? Seems like I haven't quite gotten the hang of being called Oni-chan yet. You serious? How am I nice? Well, you didn't keep asking me about my family. Just wasn't interested enough to risk it. You're not interested in why I'm hated? I stare steadily at Makina's small back silhouetted against the pond. If you want to talk, I'll listen. It's because I'm an idiot. Don't they say that kids are cuter when they're a little dumb? Yeah, I shouldn't underestimate how dumb I am, okay? Might not look it, but I'm an infamous dyed-in-the-wool idiot. Can't say I've ever heard of anyone with that fierce a reputation for being stupid before. Well, don't worry about it. There's nothing but idiots in my vicinity, including me. I haven't been avoiding you because I hate you, you know. It's because I don't want you to hate me. Don't want you to think I'm a stupid kid, that's why I've been staying away. How many hours have I think I spent like about 3 hours so far playing Grisaia to get a 23-cent card. So, let's do the math. Let's just say I got paid 23 cents every 3 hours of Grisaia I played. 23 divided by 3. I can make like 7 cents an hour playing Grisaia. It's like I said, I'm surrounded by idiots. If I went around hating for people something like that, I run out of my supply of hate real fast. And this is assuming there'd be like a theoretically infinite supply of cards to actually earn playing the game every 3 hours. There's only 6 of them, I got 1 of them now. 7 cents an hour. Well, there certainly are people who can't hold together their fragile sense of self-worth, except by looking down on others. Even a few true idiots who take these emotions to the extreme become dictators or cult leaders, and launch hunts against their inferiors. But why assume to be hated over something like that, anyway? That way of thinking seems counterproductive. Debase yourself by saying, I'm just an idiot, and you'll just puff up the many self-styled geniuses of the world. But you know, I'm not pretty like Amani, or smart like Yumi-chan, and I don't have any talents or anything. There's no point in standing around with your mouth open waiting for talent to fall from the sky. You make your own. How? No matter what you're doing, the most essential thing is to not give up. Fail as many times as it takes. Keep trying persistently until you can call yourself average. Even then, you're just still average. Average is just fine. If you can collect a nice group of average level skills, it's already above average. You've created your own sort of talent. Being a hard worker is a talent in its own right, were my sister's words. And from that group of average skills, you can work to improve further on the things that you think you're suited for. A person blessed with talent, in a manner of speaking, is just someone who found a path well suited to them early on. When you get down to it, people can accomplish nearly anything as long as they don't give up. Obvious, but it's true. On the other hand, guys who give up at the first setback will never get anything done. There's no need to rush. You're still a kid, you've got time. Try out anything and everything. Struggle around as much as you want. That's what school is for, right? Yeah. Think so? At the very least. I think the principal wants the school to be that sort of a place. So you might as well throw out your chest and do as many stupid things as you want. With pride. Of course, if this girl ends up doing something truly dramatically stupid, the principal will be the one facing the music. So I'm probably overstepping my bounds just a bit here. So it's okay if I'm dumb? Why not? Being dumb is fine. In the first place, guys who go around calling themselves geniuses are either weaklings with fragile egos, or jokers using the line to get a laugh. And even if you are some genius, that just makes it easy to mistake yourself for a perfect human and start slacking off. Hairs like that get passed by the Tauruses of the world eventually. I see. Don't get me wrong, I just wanted to try playing the nice guy for a bit. You shouldn't trust me that easily, got it? Shiru is always practicing it, you know? Don't misunderstand and all that. You better comprehend what you're reading because I'll ask you for a recap. Oh, you're gonna quiz me on... And I'm not even in school and you're gonna quiz me. Fuck's sake. Like, I expect to not get quizzed when I'm not in school. How to put this? I'm not sure how I feel about being put in the same boat as that girl. Or pop quizzed, at least. Machina? I think you got a bite? Oh, whoa! What do I do? No need to rush. Slowly pull it out of the water. Whoa! Clawfish! Oops! I caught a crawfish! I caught it! See? People can do anything if they try. So don't give up before you start, okay? It sounds like you're quizzing me. Give me a summary of what I missed out on. I want to try that experiment to turn it blue. Okay, then you should go to Amane or Sachi and see if you can find an aquarium to raise it in. Make sure only to feed the stuff without carotene. Also, make sure to feed it, right? Oh, you remembered. I put my hand on Machina's head and ruffle her hair around roughly. Might be a little hard to believe, but my memory's actually pretty dang good. Alright, better get that crawfish in water while it's still in good shape. Don't overfeed it, okay? Yeah, got it. Thanks, Oni-chan. Will you play with me again? Yeah, see you later. Machina, still clutching the crawfish, waves her hand cheerfully and takes off at full speed towards the dorm. Thanks, huh? I don't recall doing anything worthy of much gratitude, but regardless, hearing such a happy thanks feels kind of pleasant. Maybe it's because I was raised in an environment where such words were very rare, but I think being able to thank others so freely is also a sort of talent. It probably seems perfectly commonplace to her, so I'm sure she's... So I'm sure she's not even conscious of that skill. I sort of get the feeling. She may just be overlooking the talents she does have. I get it. I guess that's what makes her an idiot. They say that idiots don't catch colds, but it's probably more accurate to say idiots don't realize when they've caught a cold. In the same way, because Machina is an idiot, she probably is oblivious to her own abilities. Honestly, what a weird girl. But then again, weird people are rarely boring. Or so I think. Basking in the peaceful, sluggish atmosphere Machina left in her wake. Mihama Academy classroom. Oh, there's a tsundere again. Oh, it's finally over. As soon as the lecturer leaves the classroom, Michiru slumps forward onto her desk. We've only gotten through 2 periods. Are you out of stamina already? I know. But when it's nothing but lectures, I always end up like this. Hey, Sachi. My mechanical pencil's empty. Do you have any spare lead lying around? Yes. Here you are. Ah, thanks. Yeah, this is the stuff. Very convenient for blocking x-rays. Shame about the poisoning and all. What the heck? This is a lump of actual lead! Huh? What? Am I being bullied here? Did Sachi finally get sick of lending me lead and erasers and stuff every single day? Could it be that she secretly hates my guts? Going through a lot over some lead. That's quite the imaginative leap in logic there. Hey, Sachin. Hurry up and resolve the misunderstanding. Chiru is gonna melt into a puddle. Ah, please excuse me. Michiru-sama was asking for this instead, yes? New lead for a mechanical pencil. Jeez, give me a break, Sachi. I was a teensy bit nervous there for a minute. You've got the heart of a flea. Excuse me? That's way too small. I got the courage of your average fly at the very least. What a depressing excuse for a boast. Come up with something a little better than that. I got the courage of a fly. If you'd like, we can put your nerve to the test. No, that's quite alright, thank you kindly. Way to prove her right. Hey, Sachin, give me a loser leaves. A loose leaf notebook, is it? Here you are, Maki-chan. Grazi. That's enough, Makina. No running in the classroom. A buzzkill has arrived. Let's continue this later. In bed? I'm willing to bet she saw some spy movie yesterday. But anyway, you've really got the works, Sachi. I might, but I'm not sure what sort of works you're referring to. What? Should I say something here? We should continue this. In bed. Musical note. Oh my, how lewd. I wonder. You're a unique one. Thank you very much. Somehow that turned into a compliment. I know, right? Let's see, do you have a chisel on hand as well? Yes. As soon as I requested, a chisel set emerges from the depths of her desk. How about a heavy-duty stapler that can handle dozens of sheets of paper at once? Standing from her desk, Sachi walks off to face a large locker in the back of the classroom. What's with that locker? It's twice the size of the others. You mean Sachan's personal storehouse? Would this be what you were looking for? Within a few minutes, she finds the requested item and brings it to me. Normally, I'd expect to have to go to a stationery to get something like this. Yuji, have you seriously still not caught on? In this class, it's common knowledge that Sachi's better than a Swiss Army knife. Are you saying her karate chop cuts sharper than the folding blade? No, it means that Sachan's unbelievably versatile and resourceful. I see. Well, considering her apparent skill and devotion, I suppose she's well prepared to deal with the most requests. That proverb has a bit of a story behind it. It was a blistering summer day. The classroom AC had broken down under the heat's assault. Oh, today's so friggin' cold. The cicadas won't last long at this rate. Hey, Chiru. Let's do nap for lunch. Nab. Gotta warm yourself up inside and out. Oh, Makina has some good ideas now and then. Sorry. What on earth? Who knows, perhaps their brains have boiled? Boiled, you say? I know, right? Hot pot in school sounds pretty cool, yeah? Yep, your wisdom took me by surprise. Alright then, Sachi. I'll leave preparing the nabe set to you. Yes, with pleasure. Just kidding, as if you could find stuff for a hot pot in this season. Wait, huh? Sachan, where did she run off to? She went to gather things for nabe, presumably? No way. I mean, we were just kidding around, right? Yeah, I mean, it's not like she could just pull something like that out of her hat on a moment's notice. I seem to remember hearing her accept the request with pleasure. Now that you mention it, she really did accept. At first, everyone was skeptical. But when Sachi finally returned at the end of the 4th period, having skipped class entirely. Thank you for waiting. For real! She comes back with a hot pot set, the ingredients, and this adorable runny nose. That said, the nabe was really friggin' good. Was it? You started throwing in candy and stuff, so by the end it was a pretty bizarre mix. Hey, Peanut Gallery, don't just ignore my passionate storytelling. Incidentally, if I said I want a nabe right now, would you be able to prepare things like you did before? Yes, I would, but... I see. Seems like you really might be more versatile than a Swiss Army knife. The point is, watch what you say around Sachi, got it? She takes everything totally literally. Yeah, alright Sachi, let's change things up this time. Get together the ingredients for flowing some noodles. Wait, noodles? Did that say some noodles or semen noodles? Is there a way to just go back in the dialogue or no? Better yet, I can just look back to my stream. Really might be more versatile than the Swiss Army knife. Point is, what you say around Sachi, got it? She takes everything totally literally. Alright Sachi, let's change things up this time. Get together the ingredients for flowing somen noodles. Somen noodles, or is that just a typo right there? I totally thought I read that as semen. What the f- Semen noodles. An instantaneous response even here. Hey you. Did I not warn you literally 5 seconds ago? Look what you've done now. Sachi's already left. He asked for ingredients, so I suppose it's the supermarket this time. Or maybe the dorm kitchen. Not a problem, I really do want to try this. So why flowing somen? Oh, somen. Must be some noodles I haven't heard of. You said it yourself earlier, didn't you? It's hot today, so I thought a cool meal would be the best. What's up with that? It's not like I'm gonna thank you just because you're being nice to me, got it? Okay, this looks about right. With a careful check of the bamboo flume that makes up the small canal, it confirms the water is flowing smoothly. Having explained the gist of things to the others, I spent the last 2 periods obtaining the necessary materials and putting together a simple angled bamboo gutter on the roof. Oh, I'm hungry. A few minutes after lunch break begins, my classmates, including Sachi, emerge. Whoa. What's this? The flowing part of flowing somen, I believe. Must not be a typo then. I know that. I'm asking you why it's on the roof of our school. Yuji-kun, did you make this thing? Yeah, there's a bamboo grove within walking distance in the direction of the mountain, so the materials weren't hard to come by. You skipped class to collect bamboo in the mountains? This will be the first time I've skipped class, come to think of it. What? You telling me you haven't cut class even once before? Yeah, I suppose you could say that. That's pretty unusual in this day and age. Also, I used Moso bamboo for this thing, but when you're looking to make more intricate goods like a hamper or strainer, the more flexible Madake bamboo is better suited to the job. If you can tell the difference between the two, it'll come in handy when you're trying to live off the mountains. Keep it in mind. Oh. I don't think female students typically need to worry about living off the land. True. Thank you for waiting. Sachi joins us, carrying a large tote bag on her shoulder. Looks like you're able to find what we needed. Yes, I was able to attain the standard ingredients. Then let's start preparing for the meal. This side seems a little crowded, so I'll be over here. Or so she says. Maybe you just want an upstream position because you're burning with anticipation? I love this face she's making right now. That's easily one of the silliest grins I've ever seen on anyone's face, period. I couldn't even look this silly if I tried. Would you like to find a blade floating in direction? Well, let's not, okay? If I ended up eating a box cutter, I think my throat might get a little scratched. A little? You ready, Makibu? Once the noodles slip past these two, we ain't sparing a single strand, got it? You betcha, Captain. After I distribute a pair of chopsticks and a bowl of soup for the noodles to everyone, they take up their desired positions around the bamboo gutter. It seems like flowing somen is a rare experience for everyone, not just me. Somen noodles. People also ask, are somen noodles healthy? Japanese wheat noodles are low in fat and high in complex carbohydrates for sustained energy. Made from wheat. Got it. Oh, the old wheat noodles that I didn't know existed until now. Well then, Miss Sachi. Throw us the first pitch, please. Certainly. In response to Michiru's yell, Saki releases a few strands of wheat noodles into the waterway. There! Catch! We're eating noodles. There she goes making that face again. Michiru's easily got some of the best facial expressions I've seen yet. And then again, we still have, like, I don't know, probably, like, more than 95% of the visual novel to go through, so I probably shouldn't be talking yet. Hey, Amani, might this be a really bad position? Probably more than 95%, let me be honest. It's fine. Once they start putting a lot in at once, I'm sure someone will get past these two. Oops. Okay, Sachi, round 2, please. Well then. Yes! Behold my skill! Amane and Makina stir their empty soup bowls with hollow eyes. Because of the intense battle upstream, none of the noodles have reached their lower position. Alright, then we'll just do this. I set up another gutter that I prepared as a spare to position below Michiru. Sachi, let's get some in this one as well. Certainly. Oh! So this is a Japanese direct train, boss. Thanks, Yuji-kun. No need to thank me. A long time ago, I had beaten into me to not waste the things I make. Hmm? I glanced to my side where Sachi is silently floating soma noodles down the waterway. At this rate, you're not going to get any, Sachi. Alright, I'll secure your share. Thank you very much. Oh, that's cheating! Why just Sachin? If that's an option, I want Yuji-kun to feed me directly too. A pair of observant hunters are on me in seconds. Hold it. If everyone starts taking noodles directly, it's not flowing somen. If we did this in my room, I'd be up for letting Yuji-kun try some exclusive sexy somen. Flowing down my body instead of a piece of bamboo. I'd be up for letting Yuji-kun try some exclusive sexy somen flowing down my body instead a piece of bamboo. Flowing down my body, and that is what I think it is she's trying to make here. Sexy somen. Nice ring to it. Hey, Amane! What the heck are you blurting out all of a sudden? I think bribery through feminine wiles would be the most accurate description. Okay, so Makina's the ditzy one. Amane wants the D, I think. Michiru's the tsundere. Yumiko likes her knives. Sachi's more useful than the Swiss Army knife. Ah, jeez, what is wrong with you two? Hey, Kamune-san, your hands aren't moving. Oh, I'm sorry. I was curious why he suddenly told me he'd be skipping class by flowing someone on the rooftop of all things. He thinks in interesting ways. As expected from the sudden transfer student character. Academy hallway. I've heard it takes about 3 days to get a cat to take to you. The girl named Irisu Makina got attached to me even faster than that. Yes, this is the same Makina who used to flee the instant she laid eyes on me. I have no idea what changed her mind, but lately it's been quite the opposite with her approaching me on sight. It's hot again today. Yeah, true. Not that she's particularly talkative. After a small greeting, she tends to just tag along in silence. You want something? Not really. Honestly speaking, getting followed around for no reason like this is a little annoying. That said, there's no reason for me to coldly shoo her away either. You don't need to go afternoon class? Nope. I don't have any more electives meeting today. I see. Yep. In other words, she's probably just bored. The schedule at the school is divided between the core curriculum in the morning and optional courses in the afternoon. It's not rare for a few of my classmates to be lazing around by the vending machines after lunch. If you got nothing to do, how about going back to the dorm and studying? Is what I'd like to say, but come to think of it, I'm also wandering around wasting my free fifth period. Guess I don't exactly have the right to lecture Machina. Want something to drink? Searching for small change. I've got money. Holding out her right palm toward me to declare it's fine, Machina takes out something that looks like a green stuffed animal from her pocket. The vaguely frog-shaped thing seems to be a purse, as its red mouth opens wide with a snap of metal bearings. After taking out a few coins, Machina buys a juice box from one of the vending machines lined up in the passage, then returns to my side. Pulling the attached straw free with stubby, clumsy-looking fingers, Machina puts it into the juice box and starts to drink it. Similarly, I drink quietly from my paper cup full of oolong tea. It's hot again today. True. Now we're repeating ourselves. Probably evidence that we're both puzzled over how to get a conversation started. Who was it that told me that the man has to break the ice in situations like this? Of course, I'm not confident I could pull that off if I tried. What do I talk about with a girl like Machina? Hey, Oni-chan. Got any good stories? Stories, Stories. It's a fairly standard request, but I'm not sure where to go with this. What sort of story? It's hot, so a nice and cool story. A cool story? That's a bit tricky. When you're looking for a chilling tale, I think ghost stories are the standard choice. Fortunately, I'm not lacking in that department. A legacy of the time I spent at my old school. Upperclassmen at his previous school, this is something I heard from them. This is the story of an American soldier who found himself on a southern island in a night flooded with lukewarm rain. The soldier was making his way south through the darkened jungle amid the pelting downpour, following a native trail with 8 companions. Their objective was an enemy anti-aircraft position. The rain had been falling for 2 days straight, leaving the ground swampy as a paddy field. With the moon hidden by thick storm clouds, the soldiers couldn't even see the back of the comrade walking 2 or 3 meters ahead. The squad's nerves were already warmed by the suggestive darkness of the night jungle, but the relentless rain piercing through the tree canopy was slowly sapping their endurance as well. And on top of it all, the rough map they'd received from the scouts was vague to the point of uselessness. Good for little but further fueling their anxiety. As the squad trudged on with a virtual crawl through the knee-deep mud, it was inevitable that their formation grew increasingly loose, so the American soldier, a sniper breaking up the rear of the column, was desperately struggling to avoid getting separated from the rest of his unit. Eventually, he heard a distinctive clacking from some distance in front of him, rising above the sound of the rain. He recognized the sound as the castanets the platoon leader carried as a means to communicate at night, or in poor visibility conditions where hand signals were impractical. The number of times he clacked indicated an order to halt on the spot. The man dropped to one knee in the muddy water, grasped his rifle to his breast, and removed the lens cap from his scope, shielding it from the rain. An enemy ambush? Lying flat on the spot, the man pressed his strong eye against the gun's sight. The back of the soldier in front of him came into view. No shots had been fired as of yet. Earlier reconnaissance had indicated there were barely any enemy troops or armed guerrillas in this area. If there were enemies here, the odds were that they would be scouts, and most likely a fairly small group. As the man rested his chin in the muddy water that washed the jungle ahead, he heard the first sounds of gunfire. The enemy wasn't even 30 meters away from his squad. They'd practically bumped into each other. 6 lines of fire from the enemy position. Just as he'd thought, it seemed to be a small scouting group. Judging from the reckless way they opened fire blindly, they were probably poorly trained guerrillas who'd panicked after encountering their enemy under these unusual conditions. Removing his gaze from the scope, the man grasped his weapon and pulled back on the bolt handle, pushing a 7.62mm bullet into the exposed chamber. He quickly returned his dominant eye to the eye cup of his sight. The muzzle flashes visible through the scope burned white afterimages onto his pupil, fully dilated after his long walk in the darkness. He couldn't see the enemy. Aiming on intuition alone, he squeezed the trigger. A momentary explosion of light from his gun, and he heard an enemy's grunt from the bush some 30 meters away. A hit. The man took his rifle in both hands and began to crawl on his elbows and knees in search of a new firing position. After moving about 10 meters to his left, he discovered a convenient foxhole that would serve his purpose nicely. When he swung his body down to the hole, he found it was half full of stagnant water, just as he had expected, but that fact barely registered in his mind. More importantly, from a position like this, he could snipe while hidden for at a time. Sunk to the waist in the muddy water, he mechanically pulled back his rifle's bolt and squeezed the trigger. Again and again and again. All of a sudden, he heard a voice from the next foxhole. Since when had it been occupied? Hey, give me a grenade. In response, the man took an M67 grenade from the belt, slung around his waist, and held it out. The safety pin still fixed in place. A white hand reached out from the nearby trench and received it. Thank you. The man was certain he had heard those words. But no matter how long the man waited, his comrade didn't throw the grenade. Maybe the safety pin was bent somehow and he couldn't get it loose? Hey, you okay? As the man was speaking those words, he started to move his head to look above the edge of his encampment. At that moment, the grenade exploded in the next foxhole. An explosion at point-blank range isn't something you hear. The overpowering waves of sound aren't recognized by your ears as noise. A mass of burning air struck the man like a wall, knocking the helmet off his head and thrusting his body backward into the muddy pool. His mouth, thrown open by the explosion, was instantly filled with filthy water. As the man desperately tried to spit it out, he realized his tongue had been knocked back into his throat. He couldn't breathe. Quickly thrusting his hands into his mouth, the man peeled his tongue free with his fingers and powerfully vomited out the water together with the breath that had gathered in his lungs. His throat was burning from inhaling the explosion's scorching wind. He couldn't stop the tears that were pouring down his face. His head felt like it had taken a direct hit from a fastball made of concrete, and his ears were filled with a high-pitched ringing. Hey, you alright? Get it together. Curled up in the muddy water with his head in his hands, the man heard the voice of a comrade. At least his eardrums hadn't shattered. He felt himself being dragged up out of the foxhole by both arms. We got to move. Temporary withdrawal. Can you walk? It took all the man's effort to nod his head. He couldn't see. His ears were barely functional. His throat was on fire. He couldn't even speak. The man began to run his hands across the ground in a panic. His comrade knew what he was looking for. The man felt his rifle pressed back into his hands. Reassured by the familiar feel of his weapon, the man slung it onto his shoulder. His hands still clutching the ground, he fled that place at a crawl. Had 30 minutes passed? When the man came to himself, the rain had, ironically enough, finally stopped. His vision had largely recovered. When he looked around, he saw his companions, all just as filthy with mud. Hey, Shorty, you still alive? The sniper was still scurrying along the ground when that voice called to him. It belonged to a black man who joined the army at the same time as him. They'd been in the same squad in their training days as well, and the black man was his closest friend in the platoon. His greeting was casual as always. Give me a break. The man reshouldered his beloved rifle and told his friend about the hand grenade accident. That voice from the next foxhole. The grenade he handed over in response. Moments later, the explosion. The man angrily spat out the detail of his brush with death through another stupidity. The black man was listening in silence. When the story was over, after a brief pause, he finally spoke. Huh. The hell are you talking about, Shorty? The black man said his story was impossible. Come to think of it, of course it was. The man was the unit's birdman, the rear guard, the end of the line. Usually the birdman marched 10 to 20 meters behind the squad. There was no way an ally would have been encamped only 2 or 3 meters from his position. Even considering his movements to change his firing position, he couldn't have met anyone until the unit broke into retreat. I mean, let's say you're right and some jackass dropped a grenade in his own foxhole. Okay, who was that? When the man looked around his surroundings, all 8 of the squad's other members were accounted for. A few were lightly wounded, but clearly none of them had been on the receiving end of a grenade blast recently. So, who the hell did you give that grenade to? In response to his friend's words, a shiver ran down the man's spine. After rejoining the main force and completing his report, the man told his story to a grizzled veteran. The sergeant major had an explanation of sorts for him. That place was right around the site of an old battle where many Americans died. Among them were many wounded who had been cruelly, slowly butchered by guerrillas with spears and bayonets, and some who had reached the grenades on their waist and pulled out the pain, rather than be tortured to death. So in the end, who had taken the man's grenade? Perhaps a lingering spirit still clinging to the battlefield, even in death? Or so the story went. What do you think? Get a bit of a chill? What the heck's wrong with you? I peed myself a little bit. Oh, sorry about that. Forget it. As if I could. I'm gonna cry on the way to the bathroom tonight. My bad. Next time you tell me a story, make it a slightly happier one, okay? Huh? Yeah, got it. Makina throws her empty juice box in the trash can and starts to patter away. As usual, she leaves as quickly as she arrives, but this time, after walking about 3 meters, Makina stops on the spot and turns back to me. Hey, Oni-chan. What? Do you think there's life after death? Life after death, Can't say for sure since I've never died. If you believe in it, then maybe there is. In the army, there's a popular story about an afterlife exclusively for soldiers. It's a story you'll find in the armed forces of pretty much any country in pretty much identical form. If you believe an afterlife is waiting for you, it will be. I'm sure it's something like that. Gotcha. Thanks. Okay, see you later. With those words, she runs off, this time without looking back. I don't think I said anything particularly interesting, but hearing words of thanks naturally lightens my mood anyway. Drinking up the remaining oolong tea, I throw the empty cup in the trash bin and walk towards the classroom for a 6th period class. So another class. There's a subspecies of woman distinguished by an excessive kind of helpfulness, the burning desire to take care of other people's problems. Within a few days of entering the school, I had a rough idea that Tsuo Amane fit this busybody woman classification, but I have to admit I wasn't expecting her to extend her meddling to me quite so quickly. Although it's suppose it's inevitable that we run into each other a lot since we live in the same dorm, it seems like she's coming up to me at every free moment and playing the big sister. You having trouble with anything? If you need help at anything at all, you just let me know, okay? I wish she'd put herself in my shoes. It's not easy having to politely shoot her down every time. Not wasting any time, are you? I'm not sure how she got the idea in her head, but lately, every time a break begins, Amane's been clinging to me from behind. Then forcefully pressing her oversized lumps of breast blubber against me, as if to say, check it out, I'm the big tits character. The way they droop just a little is very popular with the enthusiasts. Look, you're heavy. Remove your chest flap from my head. Huh? What's that supposed to mean, Yuji-kun? Do you hate breasts? On the contrary, I'm something of a fan. Then it's all good, just sit back and enjoy it. These tits would drive any red-blooded man wild. Keep acting like that and you'll get a reputation as a homo. You want 30 old men with beards to start hitting on you? You want dirty old men with beards to start hitting on you. Keep acting like that and you'll get a reputation as a homo. I prefer that. If a man sexually harasses me, at least I can knock him flat without feeling guilty about it. What do you want from me? If you have something to say, then spit it out already. It's nothing in particular. Just wondering if there was anything you didn't follow in that class, or whatever. Just want to play the big sister a bit. Thanks, sis, but I'm a big boy now. So could you please get lost? You're just shy. That's so cute. Stop that. I'm a dainty little thing. I'll break more easily than you think. Precisely why I'm giving you such a nice, gentle hug. They say a snapping turtle won't release prey from its bite even if lightning strikes nearby. Amane is a similar beast. Once she clings to my only release is the sound of the bell. If this woman kept a pet cat, I'm positive it would go bald from stress within a week. I'm not confident my own hair will be safe if I allow these assaults to continue. I think it's about time I get my message across, even if it requires taking a somewhat harsh attitude. Amane, that's about enough. Just as I begin to shout, Sakaki appears with spectacular timing. Do you have a moment? Hi! Yumiko grimaces at Amane's response. Her glare is expressive. Hi, who are you supposed to be? Well, alright then. You're supposed to prepare the projector for the upcoming geography class, remember? Oh, you're right. I'm on day duty with Makina today. Yusu-san started preparing by yourself. Do you not plan to help? Sorry, Yuji-kun. I gotta go. Don't mind me. I think you should hurry before Yusu-san breaks something again. Wait, don't break it! She finally released me. What a noisy woman. She's purposely making a fuss. Is she that afraid of people realizing she's depressive? What do you mean? Exactly what I said. Even so, I find this preferable to the old suicide's incredibly timid behavior, so I've already accepted it as the lesser of two evils. You make it sound like you're familiar with her past. Have you known her that long? I suppose so, if you consider a year so long time. So Amane wasn't always like this? What? You wanna know more about her? I just don't understand the woman. Why'd she drape herself all over me like that? There's no way I would know that. How about asking her? I did. I was wandering leisurely around the area in front of the station. Huh? It's you, Chen. What you doing here? Don't call me that. Huh? Why? It's cute. Spare me. I can't get any cuter than I already am. All the other girls will get jealous and start picking on me. That tongue of yours. Anyone ever tell you it reminds them of someone? Like who? Who knows, more importantly. What's up? Shopping? Amane pointed at the plastic supermarket bag dangling from my hand. Box of tissues, a pack of batteries, salad dressing and mayonnaise, also instant curry and dental floss, and some bean sprouts. Look, you... Don't just start rifling through my bag. If you're buying curry, Shoei by the north exit is cheaper than Sanya by the south exit, you know? Shoei sells bean sprouts at 29 yen a bag, too. You're as knowledgeable as always. You wander around comparing prices all day long? It's not like I check every day, I just pay attention when I go shopping, I guess? She's got an impressive devotion to economizing. I felt definite admiration, since my master was the sort of wild woman who bought things without even looking at the price tag. Let's see. Get milk, eggs, and vegetables from Shoei. Fish, meat, and toilet paper from Sanyo. Try to remember that. Well, I'm not that caught up on the price, I just appreciate the thought, but I want a store that's convenient. It's all well and good to wander around looking for bargains, but when you consider the increased effort and consumption of time involved, getting too picky frequently turns into a loss. Well, I guess that's how guys are. That's right, I'll be going. You heading back? Yeah, I did finish my shopping. Then let's walk back together. As soon as the words left her mouth, Amane was standing by my side, firmly grasping my hand. What do you think you're doing? What are you talking about? This, of course. In demonstration, I raised the hand and Amane gripped, or rather captured, her fingers entwined tightly with mine. When am I? A kid who won't go home unless Mama pulls him there? I gotta admit, I don't remember acting quite that adorably. So I'm very interested in where you're coming from here. Still gripping my right hand tightly, Amane raised the forefinger of her other hand against her lip and racked her brains for an answer. Kind big sis walking home hand in hand with her brother role-playing? Oh, is that it? If it's role-playing, then I guess I have to play along. Did you really think I'd say that? Off! I forcefully yanked my arm free, shaking off Amane's grip. Jeez! Do you hate it that much? If you think that puppy dog face will make me act nicer out of guilt, you're very wrong. Don't flirt in public, that's a rule of mine. So it's okay when we're alone? Stop twisting my words, the point is I can't think of a single reason why I should hold hands with you. Because I want to hold hands isn't good enough? It's not an answer to the question why you want to hold hands. The truth is because of a traumatic accident in my past. I feel really uneasy unless I'm holding hands with someone. Some kind of obsessive-compulsive disorder? What sort of accident was it? That's a secret. Don't get mad, I'm just joking. As she spoke, Amane took my hand for the second time. Joking? When did the joke start? Oh, this is irritating. Take the left at least. I can't calm down when someone's got a hold on my dominant hand. Look, it's not like there has to be some big reason for us to hold hands, it's just, you know, we ended up being classmates and all, so let's be friends. That's all I was thinking. Why get friendly with me? Do I need a reason? When you were a kid or whatever, did you go around picking your friends by some calculation of loss or gain? Hard to say, didn't have any. Then let's reverse your question. Why don't you want to get friendly with me? I wouldn't say I don't, I just want to understand your motive. Then it's all good. Let's be friends. You're a weird one. I'm pretty sure there isn't a single normal kid at our school, you know. I'm going back. Having moved to my left as I requested, Amane didn't mess around any further. On her way back, she calmly acted her age. Holding hands really did seem to be enough to satisfy her. Doubts did run through my head, considering it's only been a few days since we met. She's bizarrely friendly, but still, as she is a member of our class full of special cases. Despite her relatively normal facade, Amane must have her own unhappy circumstances. This hand-holding may well have some meaning for her. I'm gonna leave it here for now. Oh, I can't read this cutscene title. Yeah, that should be good for now. So we'll do more of this later.